So in our cascade of election night meltdown videos, we've done the leftists. Now let's do the RINOs and see how they react to their least favorite person in the world winning the presidency.
And here we go.
But I think that Kamala Harris will win a narrow electoral college victory with 276 electoral votes.
I think Harris is going to win. I do think there's a little bit.
Hey guys, welcome to the Bulwark's 2024 election night live stream. I am Tim Miller. I'm here with Bill Kristol. It's not Monday, but it's election night, so me and Bill Kristol can hang out together. It is 7:30 in the East. Polls are closed in Georgia at 7 o'clock, in North Carolina at 7:30. As far as the states that we are focused on here, the 7 swing states, are concerned, we know a little bit at this stage. It looks like there is not going to be a 50-state sweep for Kamala Harris. Florida,
good prediction there.
Also does not look particularly good for the vice president, to say the least.
And by the way, shout out to Based Life Guru for the original compilation that we're watching.
It looks like we're seeing Florida move even more red off of... looking at these Trump counties. I'm not ready to look at the red counties yet. Do I have to? Okay, let's look at one. I don't know. I'm seeing a couple of comments that I'm a little serious tonight. Bill, am I a little too serious for you? Am I too serious right now? I'm in a suit jacket. I'm in a shirt. It's election night 2024. Democracy's on the line. I've been doing this for 9 years. I can't put on a jacket for you people.
No, I'm with you. It's one tries to be a little lighthearted and all this, but I mean, it is really on the line, and especially if it's going to be really close like this, maybe, and there's not going to be any kind of mini wave, and maybe there will be, but if there isn't, going through this state by state, it's going to be kind of, I don't know, kind of rough on our, I don't know, on our what? On our, like,
psyches?
Psyches.
We're
health,
not cooked.
health.
I see somebody, it's like,
Good,
we're
good,
cooked. We're not
deserved,
cooked. We're not cooked. I
haters.
everything I'm saying right now really is in line with what I expected from tonight. I was hopeful that we were going to see a big Ann Seltzer wave, a secret wave, a huge rush, and the polls were going to be outdone. And we're at poll.
When he's talking about Ann Seltzer, he's talking about the Iowa poll that favored her by 3. Trump won by 13. And I have to wonder whether or not USAID might have made a contribution to the coffers of Ann Seltzer or the Des Moines Register, where she used to work. She's now retired. Maybe she took some of the bribe money with her.
Country, and what we're seeing right now is some changes on the margins for 2020 that we're trying to analyze. Know you how nutty Florida has gotten. Let's just take a minute on this. Florida has rejected legal weed tonight. Florida is really going. As the country nudges to the left, Florida is like Wile E. Coyote sprinting to the right, the Roadrunner sprinting to the right. What is happening in Florida?
I'm pretty sure that Florida is not the state that has run off a cliff and is about to look down and fall. Look on the other side of the United States. That would be California that you are describing.
Constitutional carry on guns. No limits on guns, massive limits on women's bodies, massive limits on weed. Why are the bros voting for this? Why are the young bros voting for this? Don't they want to smoke weed? Don't they want their girlfriends to have bodily autonomy? Wild.
We don't want to use abortion as a contraceptive. No, thank you.
You need to go to Florida and have a little talk with those people there in Miami, with South Beach and all. What happened to the hipster Florida?
After the Biden debate, thought that they were going into Virginia. They're seeing polls where they're winning Virginia. We had, after the Ann Seltzer poll, we got people, Democrats, thinking they're winning Iowa. So far, what we're seeing is
that did not come to pass.
We're a divided country, and the Democrats are winning Virginia. So we'll see about Iowa. Who knows? We'll see. Yet to come in. But let's go. Let's pull that Georgia map out. Do you have any words of wisdom for everybody? There's some nerves in the comments. Any deep thoughts before we give you a break?
Yeah, no, keep calm and carry on, and let's see what happens here. And I remain on the mildly bullish side. And
keep calm on, carry on.
It seems to have gone down a little
whatever
bit.
It costs now. We'll get you a cup of coffee. It's
mildly.
So yeah,
$4.50. All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm out of touch. Okay.
You guys, what's been happening? Sarah, your body language is not exuding just like happy Sarah. So maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, right now I just got passed a note, so I got my team out there. They said Harris is underperforming Biden by about 8 points in suburban Loudoun County.
We talked about this. We're not sure about there could potentially.
No,
be
don't
late
believe the reports.
Yeah,
But Loudoun is the one
we'll
bad
stick to the
suburban
script.
county we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think so. Most of the suburbs we're seeing are pretty good for Harris. I do think. I mean, I just think it's too early to say. I like watching. We're watching Kornacki on the big board in our office. We got all the people. We got our drinks. Hey, my big thought. So we have been, we've all been sitting here watching it. I just don't think we know anything yet. I mean, we're seeing
we know that Trump
some
won Florida
overperformance in some of these suburban
by a lot
counties,
more
or not
than last time.
overperformance, but she's ticked up a little bit over Biden.
My feelings first.
I want your feelings, and then I'll give you some Clayton County analysis.
Pretty dispiriting. I would say the big takeaways right
Spiriting,
now
not
are
dispiriting.
that
You mean?
the Harris blowout scenario is probably off the table.
Good.
I think the idea, there was some when we got the last Seltzer and poll and the Times Siena poll, there was a like, hey, if things are still things have moved this far already and still moving. One of the variants that appears is a high variant where she just sort of romps, and I think we've seen enough to know that that's not going to happen.
Dude, are you sure about
now
that?
you're realizing.
Wait, just hold on. I want to just pull on that a little bit. So I understand, but like when we talked about the red wave in 2022, it did kind of like hit like the East Coast and then die, right? And so are we sure that that's not? I mean, and
I gotta say, I'm looking at the early return. Yes, it's early. Yes, we don't know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like what I'm seeing.
I want to inject a slight amount. I agree with that. I'm interested to see this Washington Post map because that's very.
I know you're prone to doomerism, but I wouldn't go too far just yet. I feel like we are. But I do think the thing I agree with JVL is it does feel like the blowout scenario, right? Where like she overperforms some in Florida. We're seeing wild overperformance in Georgia. It feels like not quite happening.
That's gone. I think.
Gone.
I just think that is absolutely off the table.
I mean, so here, how about we meet it like this? I think that like when she was up in Iowa, like there were some discussions of like a 350 electoral vote map or whatever. That
was she up in Iowa?
Like it's off the table. I don't. And the swings, we have not seen enough evidence in any of the 7 states that matter, I think, to rule out that she could still sweep them. There we go. Oh yeah, so this is good. Let's zoom in on Georgia.
Is it good,
here.
Tim?
Is it good? Is it good?
It's a good map.
It is
it's a
good.
useful map. Is what I meant.
Yes.
Let's zoom on in. It's hard for me to see at this point if it's good or bad. Yeah. The concern. So here's what I see in this map, right? Because it's like everything else. It's like, well, there's more red because there's a lot of red, and he's moving right in the red counties. So here's what you can learn. There was a bit of hope that there was a secret well of rural women that were going to revolt against Donald Trump. There's no evidence of that in this map. The Atlanta, though, I know smaller blue arrows, but there are more people in Atlanta.
Trump.
So, the arrows around Atlanta do seem to be moving her direction. Yeah, and it's a majority of the state is in the Atlanta metro. And the thing that's concerning to me about this map actually is there are a couple of pockets of like black rural or small towns in Georgia, like Macon, et cetera, like that are down here. And I'm not seeing any blue movement in those areas. So
don't expect
that'd
any.
be the one thing that would jump out at me.
The third part, I mean, it is just an open question. Can Trump really go over 47%? Right.
I think he did.
We'll see. We're going to test it. But it just looks to me like I just don't believe it. Look at that head shake. For a very long process here.
Very long.
Yeah.
Definitely not going to be over tonight.
I mean, it looks like North Carolina is real tight. Like,
this isn't the blowout we wanted.
Yeah, like, we were nervous, and then, this is the one thing that I would say, everybody be cool. Everybody be cool. I will
calm down.
Maybe one of the reasons I'm okay is that I have never thought she was going to win North Carolina or Georgia or Arizona. And I've also thought like Nevada might go. I have hung everything.
270, baby. You've been hanging
everything
on 270.
On Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nebraska too.
I'm sure that's going to work out for you.
I've
Stay tuned, everybody.
Who's down right now in the comments? Who's
Ohio, right?
Who's
You going to
little-
Ohio?
Who's a little nervous right now? Who's a little nervous?
Not
in the
me.
comments? Are you ready for this?
I'm feeling hopeful.
I got magic coming. We got some magic coming your way. We've got the hopium coming. Oh, yeah, this is going to be like
Hopium
just
is
a
correct.
little.
I'm glad that she
just a
used that
little
word.
freebase, like just a little minor. Like get out some of your baking soda. Get out the.
How much drugs do you think this guy does? Leave it in the comments section. It's definitely not 0.
No, you don't know. You don't know how to freebase. Okay. Well, we're going to give it to you, the good stuff. I mentioned Ohio. While Sebastian pulls that up, I mentioned Ohio towards the very beginning of the live stream, and Sherrod Brown is holding strong from his 2018 number, which was really good. And look at those blue arrows. And what do we know about Ohio? Sarah, is there anything about Ohio that we know that might be relevant?
It's gotten red as shit over the last few years.
Okay, that's one thing. I was thinking about something a little more obvious.
Never has somebody won Ohio and lost the presidency. It's in there. I mean, wasn't that part of his legal case?
It was that's for a second. How's there,
Okay.
what
The New York Times just decided to publish their needle.
Oh no! I
What's
thought
it
that
say?
I was pro-union for the first time ever when the union was striking and preventing them from needling.
Yeah.
You're the one who's going to get
You
needled
want to know what
tonight.
they've got where the needles right now?
Yeah, sure.
They've got Trump at 275 and Harris at 263, and they've got the Harris popular vote at 1.3 right now.
Ooh.
Okay, which state drops in a 275?
She's gonna win the popular vote,
Which of the
isn't
blue
she?
wall
I
states
don't know.
drop?
I don't know.
Wisconsin,
I don't
probably?
know.
Wisconsin? Is that how it would be?
They got Pennsylvania as the tipping point, Maine 2, and Iowa.
Where the hell is the needle? I can't find the needle. Somebody put the needle.
Said the heroin
slide,
user.
please.
All right, let's see. I'd rather be Trump. All right. Well, we don't actually have any results from the blue wall states, do we?
There's the needle. Thank you, Chris.
It doesn't even close till 9. Michigan has closed, but we have no results of any meeting. And Pennsylvania is closed with no results of any meeting. So, that damn needle. It's a toss-up. The needle says it's a toss-up. Sarah, you didn't lead with
We're
the
in
lead.
business.
The needle says it's a toss-up, which is exactly what we've been
Okay,
saying.
well, they just gave us the Electoral College estimate.
All
There,
right.
that's what I was looking at.
Toss-up is a toss-up.
Toss-up is the
Yeah.
toss-up.
It's a toss-up.
It's a coin flip.
Great.
But again,
Coming in
You
here
can
in a little bit.
win.
Sarah and JBL, you're too negative. I'm looking at the comments. Sarah stopped my heart. Here, I want to...
I'm not being negative.
I
I'm
know.
telling everybody to just hold on. It's super early, and guys, we can neither be too bullish or too bearish. We can only tell you the results that we're seeing and give you our responses to it. So you can't get mad if we are, overly happy or overly negative. If we feel
I
overly
disagree.
negative-
You can get mad at JBL if you want. They take it out on him. If you have anxiety,
take it out on me because I'm not looking at the comments anyway,
Yeah.
and so you
Take
won't
it
hurt
out of
my
JBL.
feelings.
Damn that
Do whatever you need
JBL.
to do.
You can throw
He's not
shit at
funny at
him.
all.
Whatever you need. Because
It's like one of those
I don't-
fake senses of humor.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the repeated point that JBL keeps making is like the only thing that we have really learned is that the world in which Kamala Harris wins Iowa, and that means she wins all of the other states, feels like it's not the world that we're in. But
Bye-bye.
besides that,
And he found more voters in the rural
found
state.
some more
He
voters.
found a way to get
more Bubbas.
bigger margins in rural states.
Do you want to do the voice? Okay, we've got
Right now, the needle, the JVL needle.
All right.
Good impression, dude.
Oh boy. Okay. Here we go. JVL. So I'm ready for you to be dyspeptic. Yeah. I mean, I can't average this in my head right now, but it looks like he gained about 2 points in the completed Georgia county, rural counties. Though that share is what share of Georgia is rural counties? Do we think probably
It's going to
like
be like
a
this,
third?
right? Yeah, I mean, but again, because that was his theory.
I mean, I think that we're being very generous to say that it's a theory, but yeah, I mean, his kind of lizard gut, I can create as much tension as possible, and that'll event. And if there's a war and a battle, and I'm strong and they're weak, that people end up coming around to me, like that kind of guttural thing.
He is like a jealous person. He has envy within him. He is judgmental. Not that I'm not, because I am doing that right now with them, but he is just a judgmental asshole. That's who he is in his heart. That's how he copes with the world. And you're seeing it right there as he's bagging on Trump with the vitriol that he is. it's not only the words, it's the feeling that he's exuding that's coming from within him. Sad, not a happy person.
Yeah, sure. That's playing out a little bit.
Well, I guess I'll give you the reason that I'm obviously, look, I was never like a Harris blowout. I always thought the path was Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Nebraska too. What it makes me nervous about is that we are in, if we get into really like, it's really tight territory, what happens is like Trump's going to declare victory at like 11 o'clock here.
Let's talk about
100%.
that a little bit.
Yeah.
She's ticking up, 4 points, maybe 5 points. And in the not populous rural counties, not all of them, but a lot of them, he is also ticking up 4 points or 5 points. And it just, like this suggests that if this holds, no reason to assume that it will, but if it were to hold, we go to the wire on it everywhere, right? This is
Down
one of
to
our
the
nightmares.
wire.
Georgia. I mean, just as a personal matter, I don't think I can handle that. They haven't made enough Xanax to get
What are
me
you
through
gonna?
that.
What have you thought about what your Xanax regiment would look like if we went into recount mode? It's something that'd be something to start thinking about. We have our friends.
No
at the
need
New
for
York
a
Times
recount,
needle.
buddy.
Do we want? Nobody wants the needle, right?
No.
The needle's
Not
still
when
in
it's not
toss-up
favoring
mode,
you. You
but
don't.
Oh yeah, well, the needle keeps moving down on the Harris popular vote estimate.
That's true.
Because we were at 1 point plus 1.8, and we have cut that in half, and we are at plus 0.9.
Okay.
It's going to get better over the night.
Too many numbers.
Stay
It does look
tuned.
like the Loudoun County thing might have been a data error.
In my view,
It
I just
must
think
have
it's
been.
very clear we're staring down the barrel of the close election that all the polls predicted. That much maligning of the polls. It just seems like we're staring down the barrel of it. But if you look at some of the exits, Latino men breaking for Trump by a 10-point margin, like a huge change from 2020. And so that, I think, is obviously a very poor sign for Arizona, which I don't think was on many of our maps for Harris anyway. Meanwhile, it's early, but we are finally getting a batch out of Bucks County in Pennsylvania. And right now in this batch, Harris leads by 33 in the early vote. Biden won it by significantly less than that. So
That sounds like good news.
That is the battle space here, right? Can Harris?
Sherrod and all I just don't understand what is it about Donald Trump that is leading him to overperform Republicans in state. And I mean,
because he actually cares about America, because we saw that he was what was standing in the way between you going after any average American for trumped up, literally, charges that you did with an ex-president, and the lawfare that you waged against him turned so many people against you because we see your corruption and dishonesty. That's just a partial answer.
Again, is it because of the tremendously disciplined campaign he's run?
Pretty damn good campaign.
See what I'm saying? Everything we've seen.
I can't get my head around it.
Harris has been the one reaching out to Republicans, and yet huge percentages of those people are sticking with Trump at the top of the ticket.
Yeah, I can explain this actually.
Please do.
I just
so here's
gave you
people
a
are
partial
terrible?
explanation.
Is that
I could
so?
go on.
So I think part of it is that it has to do with actually how uniquely terrible for their state some of these candidates are. Trump was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. But
to be clear, Trump attempted to overthrow the government of the United States, and Carrie Lake.
Go peacefully and patriotically and make your voices heard. That doesn't sound like trying to overthrow. This is a false framing that the left and the RINOs continually give. It's completely dishonest, the same way that lawfare against him was as well.
However annoying she is, did not.
Sure. I'm not defending it. I'm only telling you why I think this is happening.
But again, it's happening over and over. It's happening across the country.
It's good news.
It is.
It's really good news.
I guess I'd say some of this is the Hispanic men that we just talked about. There's a lot of Hispanic men that are voting for Ruben Gallego and Donald Trump. We can get into their mental state if you want in a minute. But I want to point a
Ellos están estúpidos according to you.
couple of things that I think are worth flagging. Number one, Kamala Harris the AP has called Virginia for Kamala Harris, vice president. like this is only noteworthy.
Is this about the ads and how much the spending is?
No, it's not about that. It's
Okay.
what you said earlier. Is that this is 2022 repeat right now? Like we saw that in 2022, we saw Florida and Virginia move to the right, and then we waited a couple hours and we saw that Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan did not. Like that happened.
I just told you guys this.
I know you just told us that. That's why I said I'm trying to take credit away from you and give it to the man.
Okay.
Because that is how things go in this country, where Donald Trump, an adjudicated sexual assaulter and a misogynist and a creep, is
all those things, ad hominem attacks, nothing to do with the policies, just the fact that you don't like him.
About a 52% chance to be the president of the United States.
I can't wait to see you break down when he wins.
Trump is going to declare victory. Practically
seems like a good idea.
Is that going to have any effects?
Well, first of all, how are you holding up? You good?
I'm good. My final prediction on the podcast today was 276, 262 in favor of the vice president. You're
gonna be right.
It was great that she came on the podcast this weekend. I have nothing against her, but I was not really compelled by the answers that made that to make me think that it was anything besides a little bit of an outlier. And so to me, what we're seeing right now, I wish Georgia looked a little better, but Georgia looks close. North Carolina looks close to me. I'd probably rather be Trump than her in both places, but neither of them were on the map that I had for Kamala Harris winning. So I wish we were already popping champagne and the country would have rejected this piece of shit who attempted a coup, and that we'd be looking
at a coup. That's what they call it, a coup, a coup, a coup. That's the way they're framing it. F you. There was no cheating by the Democrats. They never do. They're the most honorable people in the world. They did not lawfare him. They did not try to assassinate him. They did not do Russia collusion hoaxes and try to destroy his presidency. Go F yourself, Tim.
Out and there'd be the women's wave and everyone would be marching for women. And I wish that was happening. It's not happening so far, but I'm calm in assessing it.
Good. I'm glad that you're keeping calm.
Let me just throw this out there.
Yeah.
The feeling I'm getting, just a feeling, is, as our colleague Bill Kristol says, sickeningly like 2016. Florida's off the table early. Remember, people were like, oh, she's going to win North Carolina and Texas and Florida. She's going to get 400 electoral votes. And it was a little bit later in the night, back when in 2016, when we started going, hey, don't worry, we just got to hold the blue wall. Like now we've already fast forwarded to that bargaining phase. We're already there by 9 o'clock.
No,
fast forward.
I appreciate what you're saying that, but I was already in a ball by 9 o'clock in 2016. This is not like that. This is like 2020 and 2022, and the thing that does give me the bad feeling in my tummy is the thing, JV, you and I have been talking about for about the last month, which I don't like that Trump has 3 outs in the upper Midwest. I don't like it. It would have been nice to feel like she was in position in one of the 2 southeastern states to offset a loss in one of those places. So I don't like that, but they've all moved together.
Not going to happen. Hey, John, what's up, man? Can you hear us?
There's a lot of calls happening right now. I felt as though I heard someone on this in my multi-screened house here.
Wait, Tim, are you in Heilman's house?
Yeah.
Why?
The live stream is coming from Heilman headquarters in Soho, New York, and
because I needed to make sure that there was a good whiskey in case things started to go.
Yes,
down.
we have a lot of alcohol here, and on the basis of what I heard, I have a lot of screens going in the other room, and one of them is devoted to the Bulwark live stream, and I heard one of you thugs on here just saying something like, this feels sickeningly like 2016. Who was that?
JVL. John,
JVL.
Yes, unfortunately, it's the smartest one on the whole Bulwark, which is really a problem because, I was hoping it was like Sam.
Am I the smartest one? I didn't even think I was part of the Fab Four of the Bulwark.
Well, you're not. You're not.
John, can you sit up? John, can you sit up at all?
You're like the tallest human in the world, and somehow
Tim's got the chair here.
Give him the chair.
Tim's in the chair. Tim's in the chair. I'm just like, I'm here on my hands, on my knees here. And I wanted to say, the rest of you, when I heard that, it says sickeningly like 2016, there was a loud, like, groan in the room out there where people are still trying to maintain some sense of hope. And it's like nothing's really been called, and there's not been a single state.
Don't destroy my false sense of hope. Please don't, is all I've got.
That's been taken away. That was not, they're on serve right now. And yet here's last, the smartest guy at the Bulwark basically declaring that we're all doomed. Thank you for that.
First of all,
doomed
I don't
that
know
Donald
if
Trump is going to win.
JBL much, but this is like just what he does.
Yeah. I think this is why.
And I'm always right too. That's believe me, it's the curse.
You're always right.
I don't want to be.
Wow. Okay. For all
tell
of
me,
you,
am I wrong, John? Though.
I want to bring in a piece of hopium. Here we go. We're going to
tell me why I'm
bring in a
wrong.
little piece
I want
of
to hear
hopium
it.
here. I received a text. I just received a text from my favorite Georgia source, who was correct in 2020 when the Needle said that Georgia was 81% for Trump. He kept texting me, "I don't think so. I think that Biden's going to win." And I just got a text from him that said, "I still think Georgia's going to be close." So there we go. We're staring right down. No, but
it's going to be close. It's different than he's going to win.
Good for
just for the record.
All right. Ham is John. Ham.
It feels. I mean,
subscribe to the channel, guys.
I'm not at. I'm just trying to think about the timing in 16 and screaming and weeping and
we're not going back.
That is not like what this feels.
Yes, we are. Actually.
This feels.
Stop it, JBL.
I think it's a little bit. I'm not saying I don't think that. I think that at this moment it doesn't feel to me like I'm absolutely certain that Trump is going to win this. No. But I allow for the fact that it would be nice. It would be. I would like to see a stronger performance from Harris in a bunch of places right now, so I would feel more comfortable. But like at that moment in 16, it was like, fuck, this could be doomed. It feels more like 20 to me. In a way, although Harris was never leading in the way that Biden did. So I'm not sure. I think it's sui generis. But if you're asking me, do I feel happy and comfortable right now? No, about Harris winning. If you're asking me, do I think she's doomed right now? I also don't say doomed at this point because I still think she can win these blue wall states.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Before we go on. What'd you say?
Starting with the pony?
I'm starting with the pony.
All right, let me hear your pony, and then I'll leave.
I think Bob Casey, crusty old Bob Casey, just won his seat.
He did?
That's not bad.
Did he?
Did he really? I don't think that's the case.
I don't see that.
And
good
Fulton
reporting
County
though.
Is not yet completely in, so we really let's not like jump on Georgia when her votes
this
haven't
is the information that they're doling out.
Okay. That's a good pony. I'll see you guys soon.
Has Casey actually been called?
Has been
mentioned. I have not seen Casey call, just to be clear. Where'd you see that?
Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't want to get hopium too high here.
Okay.
She's giving you a bad batch.
Hold on.
We'll circle back. Well, so Sebastian will circle back.
Circle back like Pisaki.
Oh, sorry.
No, Casey.
It's the election center projected winner, Bob Casey, an incumbent Democratic hold.
I'm so sorry. I was looking at 2018.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll
So the votes in like I said in Georgia are not. I mean, I'm not saying
they're
that
not
she's gonna
binding.
win it, but
we can find a way to overturn
Virginia,
it.
Let's just wait and see how her vote comes in.
Right.
It is not good about the gender gap being only 12 points because I think for Biden it was 15. Yeah. So that is not good. Yeah. And
es muy bueno.
That's nationally, and it could be off. And of course, it might not be completely correct, but I'm kind of where JVL is. I'm trying to find some rays of sunshine.
Well, let's just go
North Carolina. And so the idea right now that she's kind of on track to stay within a point or so, that puts her roughly where Biden is. And like, I've always thought the path was Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. And here's the thing, like, I can't overread.
Still too early, but these are all close states. We'll see what the blue wall forecast.
I really am with Sarah. I really believe it's too early. She said an hour ago it was too early. She said it now, and it is too early in my view. I just am having such a 2020 vibe.
I mean, look, I'm not saying that the election is over by any stretch, but if we are talking about coming down to a 5-digit margin in 3 states,
I know.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is panic time.
Panic time.
He attempted a coup.
A coup.
He has been running with his...
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Face melting off of him and saying the craziest things you could imagine. And
I can imagine much crazier.
Running an absolute joke of a campaign.
It was a joke. I mean, when he went into McDonald's for that photo opportunity and served fries, that was a joke, a great joke.
His campaign has been imploding in front of us. We saw his campaign managers dumping and doing pre-mortems to Tim Alberta at the Atlantic. Everything about this for the last month has looked like a losing campaign.
But your analysis is incorrect.
The answer is that, like, it's going to be like, well, we'll see how 12,000 people in these 3 states go.
It wasn't down to 12,000 people.
That scenario is frightening because the closer it is, the more, potential for violence and all this pressure. It's not, it's.
Could you imagine being married to that woman, dating her? I don't think so. It's very, very difficult. What a sad person.
It's not good. I mean, look, the truth is
the
best scenario if he's going to win is he wins big and hard.
That's what she said.
Panic attacks. Just to remind people, we don't think this is by any stretch of the imagination a done election. I think the general consensus is it's kind of mirroring what we expected. The Sunbelt states have been elusive. She'll probably be
elusive. Is that the word?
Pretty close, but probably sharp. We don't know. We have to wait for a number of key counties to come in. But the path that we always thought was the most reasonable one for her was through the blue wall states, which is Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Blue wall,
at
baby.
At this juncture, the data is
taking it there.
Not clear as to how that's going to play out. We just don't have good enough data there. We do have some from Pennsylvania, but the latest read I had was it's really a toss-up election. And so we're not saying that this is by any stretch of the imagination done, but we are just trying to sort of figure out and come to some sort of consensus about why it's so close, considering all the factors that have led up to this, and what explains Trump's appeal continuously, even in what I think is widely regarded objectively as very erratic close to the campaign. Right.
Like, this is what we are seeing is mass psychosis, and we are seeing a society disfigure itself on purpose for.
Like during COVID, when the NPCs were told to repeat that anybody that stated that the virus might have originated from the Wuhan laboratory, as opposed to the wet market, which is what Chinese people eat, are racists and conspiracy theorists. You mean that mass psychosis that was induced by people that are part of the Uniparty and the leftists?
Some reason. And it is not because they are personally feeling pain from inflation. I'm sorry.
Oh, how dare we?
Okay,
how dare we?
My wife is texting me saying, JVL, do you need me to bring you Xanax?
Yeah.
She might.
North Carolina was called for Trump by the HQ decision desk.
Woo! YMCA.
And we have Fox News projecting Texas for Ted Cruz as well. So 2 more calls.
Hey, Heilman, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
I didn't get that joke.
It is a map that is turning up about as Republicans could have hoped, right?
Ted Cruz has won.
Ted Cruz has won. It's not looking particularly great for Sherrod Brown in Ohio. So we're going to end up with a much more Republican Senate, it seems like, than 51-49.
Things are about to go dark, I think.
Would you just stop?
This is what 2016 felt like.
No,
But it also is sort of in a way what
stop.
2022
Just
felt like
stop.
from the beginning of the night. So we just got to keep that in mind. I do kind of align myself philosophically with you that the trends don't look too great. In fact, they look bad, but we still have 3 states that we just don't have great data on. We could probably take North Carolina off of the map and bring in.
Yeah, who's driving on that? Can somebody go?
I'm kind of with JVL to a degree on this. It's not looking particularly great. I'm also with JVL. Dave, tell us what you're hearing. Okay.
Yeah, I am still hearing Democratic hope that what you've seen in each state, which is a small shift to her in the suburbs and strength in the cities, is enough to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
She gonna win,
polls are right, which
she
is,
gonna win.
I think, dispiriting to Democrats. The whole
MAGA people, right? Just standing around like they're less drunk than they'd want to be because they were hoping for an open bar. But in checking in with folks in Mar-a-Lago, Trump just gave a brief address there to a bunch of $1 million donors. Didn't say anything of note. Actually, didn't dwell on election fraud. Said things look good. I think that's partly true, partly not true.
Partly not true. Which part isn't?
They're in the cautious, optimistic territory. Another person
up on the big screens. A little bit more antsiness rattling through the crowd. Everybody seems to be kind of like, all right, we came in the kind of hope that we were going to get this blowout and not have to stay up and panic and chew our nails all night. And that appears to have to at least be closing that the likelihood of that. And we're looking like we're heading, I'm sure you guys have been talking a lot about, right toward that blue wall nail biter again. They're people are like trying to keep their spirits up. People are trying to settle in for the long haul. But it's a nice night out here. It's an outdoor event, and people will be here for a few hours yet.
Twitter.com, X. Here is the blue wall check-in. Pennsylvania has Harris 52-48 with 35% reporting in. Michigan has Harris 53-45 with 13% in. And Wisconsin has Harris 51-47 with 29% in.
That's good
all
news.
All which are setting up for a photo finish. That's just a recap of their first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You run against the guy 3 times, twice with women candidates, once with a guy candidate. The guy's the only one who wins. I think.
Well, we haven't seen that yet.
I mean, I just like.
Okay,
you can be reductive about these things, and I think that the lesson that Democratic primary voters will take from this, because we always talk about how voters are too stupid to even exist.
We're too stupid because we don't necessarily agree with your outlook of the world, with your paradigms. So that makes us too stupid to know what's good for us. Condescending little prick.
In the world.
You talk about that. I don't.
Bubble wrapping them all the time, that they would just fall into pits with spikes and sharks with lasers on their heads because they're just morons who can't understand anything.
We're all morons.
I think that the lesson they will take is that there is no fucking way they're ever nominating a woman to be their presidential nominee again.
They might take that lesson, but I'm not sure they should. I think that one of the things that they should, I think that,
that was great.
That's why sometimes people are like, what's the Bulwark
that's
going to do?
Sexism at play there.
Harris wins. And I'm like, I don't know if you've noticed, we still have an enormous problem on our hands. Like, if Trump wins narrowly, if Trump loses narrowly, we have an enormous problem on our hands as a country. And so I think
that again is voters are too stupid to understand how anything works. Right?
Too stupid. I mean, that's what he's talking about. He's talking to you out there who's watching.
While we have Mark apparently in the bowels of some convention center.
Well, I was trying to get away from all the sound, the ambient voice. Yeah.
What do you think is the Trump appeal? Nate Silver still has Harris at a 53% chance.
Don't know Nate Silver's a disgrace for pollsters. He doesn't get anything right.
That means, again, I just want to be honest. We all kind of have come to the consensus that 3 states will matter here. I mean, you could put Nevada off. It doesn't matter. What?
As far as the presidential is concerned, look, but if we bring ourselves to a pre-Seltzer world, poor Ann Seltzer, God love her. If we bring ourselves to a pre-Seltzer world, what I think the consensus view was at the Bulwark, maybe not among every single person, was that we were looking at a 270 to 268 map for the vice president. She was going to need to win the blue wall states and that Omaha congressional district in Nebraska too, which is looking good right now.
While it would be great if, North Carolina had surprised us or whatever, that the scenario that you just laid out, that a lot of us have been thinking was the likeliest, still very, very well may happen with Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, plus Nebraska's little blue dot going for Harris and therefore giving her the presidency. So that can still happen.
It can still happen.
I think we can hold off on the doomsaying about what this says about the country, that it came this close. We've known for 9 years that it said nothing good about us, that a man of this low character could have come to control an entire political.
Bitch, you decided that Joe Biden was the sharpest tack, that he was president when he wasn't running anything for the last 4 years. And you're trying to lecture us about intelligence and our ability to judge somebody?
Party. We've known this. This is not new. And so for now, we just have to, hang tight, get a drink if you need one, but it's not over. And if Trump does manage to pull out a victory, we will, all is not lost. We will continue to fight for the country that we love, the half of it that we represent.
I want to get to what you're seeing in Pennsylvania is that Trump, I believe, has just taken the lead in the total count. That said, this is kind of how Pennsylvania goes. So just as a reminder for everybody, what was going to happen based on the way that they report and count was that Harris was going to take the lead at the beginning. Then there would be a wave of votes that would be more friendly to Republicans. Looks like Trump now leads by 0.9% in Pennsylvania, and then Philly and some other places would come in late.
And then our uncreased, pre-signed ballots that we bring in from the trucks will find their way to the polling stations.
So, yeah.
And what we are left with is hoping that we squeak this out. So we are back to what would be a normal election. The out party, look at the numbers on presidential approval, look at the numbers on wrong track. You would expect the out party to win. The fact that it is a normal election, despite the Republican Party ticket being headed by a guy who tried to overthrow democracy, tells you that we have certainly taken another step towards sort of, Hungarian authoritarianism. Sorry, I don't want to be too dramatic about it. Right. We may stave it off for an election, but remember, we barely staved it off last time, and that guy came back, and the whole party supported him anyway. Coming. He's either going to be president, or he's going to have come this close to being president again. That's where we are.
He came more than that close.
People that don't follow our politics don't see it, and it's really hard to get people to follow our politics, right? It's depressing. They don't want to deal with it.
I'm hoping that Kamala can still pull it out, but I have to say that one thing, again, not wanting to do a post-mortem before it's necessary, but I do think.
Yeah, give us some mute there. A couple of just notes from around the internet here. Different vibes with Alan Lichtman's YouTube feed over there. Not great. The vibes are low, according to someone that's watching his YouTube feed. Shouldn't laugh at that. Nate Silver.
I'm a little bit skeptical of these I'm skeptical of a lot of these models because they don't comport with my wishes. Early voting from last election to this one. I just don't know how they're computed until you get close to 100%. It's so hard to know what's still out there. Projections from 2020, I'm very skeptical of them. Let me say one thing here, because I've been like Prince of Darkness for the last 48 hours.
Right.
I don't want people to despair. I'm not despairing. I recommend.
If somebody out there could do me a favor and log into my phone and reply to everybody asking me how I'm feeling, and to let them know that I'm currently on a live stream where they can see and hear all of my live thoughts, that'd be very helpful for me. I felt a few other things in Iowa. It looks like they've called Iowa for Donald Trump, so that dream has died.
It never existed. It was a false inserted almost like that Leonardo DiCaprio movie where he's jumping between dreams, whose name I don't remember at the moment, is a false dream. It was inserted into you by the propagandists of the Democrat Party that no doubt paid for that poll in order to bolster some energy for Kamala Harris amongst the Iowa and other voters as well. We've got Iowa, and Seltzer said so.
Which we all expected. Interesting. The popular vote, like right now, the popular vote projection is close to even, which is something that really nobody predicted.
I bet on it. I bet hundreds of dollars on
stage,
Trump.
I guess of the of the coverage. As thing that's striking to me tonight, as we look at the numbers, Trump does seem to have improved with both Jewish voters and Muslim voters. And
can't wrap your head around that, can you?
This is like a, I don't know,
a magic trick,
maybe a big hit.
I'm in the filing center for the Harris event. I've been outside, but the speakers boom, and you don't want to hear that as I'm trying to talk to you. It's a little bit gloomy over here. It's gotten quite a lot more. I'm sorry. The longer the networks are on the big screen, the more kind of doom and gloom there is. So yeah, it's gotten a little bit bleak around here. Still a very lovely night though.
Tim, you're on.
You don't know what to say, do you? It's bleak.
Sorry, it's over. It's over. That's just not where we're at. We need a lot more data to come in the blue wall states, which are always going to be her best path to victory. So more to come in. We're continuing to monitor them. The dean. I guess we look to you for some wisdom here. What say you? Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's a pretty grim evening. All
grim.
told.
That's the wrong word. Hopeful, joyful.
Kind of
different adjectives, please.
It's a bad day for democracy. It's a bad day for the United States. It's a great day for democracy. I don't, honestly, to be honest, sure, it's not over. You could see some.
I love how they say that it's a bad day for democracy when the Kamala Harris and she even stated that we should not have free speech, that you lost that privilege. It's not a privilege. It's a right. They shut down Twitter. They shut down your ability to speak, and they're talking about the end of democracy. F them. These people are fascists. Literally, that means the union of corporation and state to do what neither could do without the other. They are fascists.
So it's not over, but the trend lines are bad everywhere. And we just have to accept that and think about
Feelings are good. I might have one drink, and JVL will take the lead, and I'll see you back here shortly.
Hey, friends. So I'm glad the rest of everybody is caught up with where I was at 8 o'clock.
You're so wise. Good.
This isn't like an official call or anything.
Good call.
But it looks to me like Donald Trump is on track to win a larger electoral vote share than he did in 2016 to possibly win the popular vote, which is one thing I didn't think was possible, and maybe even get a flat majority of the popular vote. I guess there's just a lot to talk about, but I'm pretty angry.
Yep, call us stupid now.
And I'm I'm angry at so many things. And what our fellow Americans want was Donald Trump.
No.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I don't agree with this.
I know. But
I don't agree that we want Donald Trump.
That's okay.
We did. We voted
for it.
Eventually.
Give it another 3 hours. Sarah, do you want to beat me up first, or do you want to get in line first?
I don't want to beat you up. I just look. I think we're diagnosing something that we don't quite know yet. I am, I'm still waiting to see how this is going. But I do think it is trending badly. It is not trending in a positive direction. I do think that it is possible that she could still eke this out. I don't know that I think she's going to lose all the blue wall states, but I am pretty worried about Pennsylvania right now. She's just not putting up the numbers that she needs in these slightly more suburban areas. What is this? Who is this random dude in the comments? I shouldn't look at the comments.
It's over, dork. Event, get over it.
I do.
On the plus side, we're not going to have to worry about a stolen election in which Donald Trump corrupts the vote counting process down to the county level. So that's good. I mean, I've always thought that if Trump was going to win, an actual clean win for him was the best case scenario for the country.
I agree.
And so we get that.
You got that, Betty. Good for you.
That's
nothing.
The pony.
That's well, I mean, it's not nothing.
Yeah, what I don't want to do not just if Trump does happen to win, but also if he happens.
And by the way, I really feel a little sick at the idea of having to have Donald Trump in our faces for another 4 years. It's almost more than I can stand. But let me just put my analyst hat back on for a second. And,
So we're just seeing that Jen O'Malley Dillon has just sent out an email to all hands on the Harris campaign. It is hey, all is not lost, but it finishes by saying, we'll continue to keep you all updated as we get more information. This is what we've been built for. So let's finish up what we have in front of us tonight, get some sleep, and get ready to close out strong tomorrow. And Sarah, come on. This is where you rally us with something helpful.
I mean, look, I think we're a little bit ahead of ourselves. And I think we're going to have to wait and see what happens here. I agree that if we're in a scenario where Trump has won most of the swing states by a bigger margin, and he has the House and the Senate, Bernie Moreno, they just called Ohio for Bernie Moreno. So Sherrod Brown
I won money on that too.
Sherrod Brown's lost, which I got to tell you guys, I always thought Sherrod Brown was going to lose that race, though. I mean,
for those of us, and I certainly was one of them, who took the Ann Zelzer poll to heart, Trump is currently winning Iowa by 13 points. So the scale of her polling miss is...
It's bred by corruption. That's the only explanation that a quote-unquote gold standard pollster could have missed that badly. And your intelligence should be called into question for believing it.
Catastrophic. And that's with 83% voting.
I don't know why people
who went for this. And I agree with Bill. I think this is just a horrific event in American history, and
it's a great event. It's going to save the republic.
Resistance, and I think it will be the resistance. I'm prepared to put undocumented people in my attic.
Great, thank you for saying that. We'll send ICE right over to your house.
And to protect them from having their families broken apart, or so we're headed for a very, very dark chapter, and I don't think that we can try to get around that. I mean, Trump might not be able to do everything that he's promised. He's not going to end democracy on day one.
Did he promise to end democracy?
Will fight him on a lot of things, but this is a very, very
good day.
Serious crisis.
As dark as you guys want to go, I could go there. But
do it, Mona.
And as somebody told a dear friend after 2016 that I fell out of love with America then. This is
because we didn't comport with your wishes.
I'm past that. This country is just like other countries. It's not special. It's not.
It is special. We are the greatest.
Exceptional.
And I say that as somebody who's been to 60 countries on the globe and lived in 7. We are the greatest country on earth.
Etc. We're just like other countries.
All right. Well, this is great. This has been super fun. At least we didn't have to stay up till 3 a.m. to get here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
you got that going for you.
JVL, but during that time, it's very clear that Donald Trump's going to win the election. So I don't know if you guys have actually said that. I don't know where.
Yeah, no, I said this, and I got
it's like, so I say this not to like bring everybody down, but really actually as a self-care thing, because I've sent several texts to my friends that are like, what should I do? I want to take a sleeping pill if it's over. And I was like, you should take a sleeping pill if that's
walk us through why you think that.
Sure. I was listening to Spin from the campaign, and what they're saying is that there are these tranches of votes that are going to come in, and that will happen, and that will narrow the margins. But I don't see it. I don't see the numbers being there.
Well, can I just say, because I'm trying to be a little bit of sunshine. We get to go to bed early. There's no insurrection. Okay. We don't test. Alan Lichtman just got
bad night for Alan Lichtman, I would say.
So, we can bury the keys.
We can bury the keys.
I mean,
my mind's kind of shifted in the past 20 to 30 minutes in a weird way. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm energized by it, but I do feel mission called to it. Like, I remember where I was in 2016 when I had the same pit in my stomach, and we were all talking about, what does the resistance look like? It looks like this. It's small, punchy opposition.
Like a bunch of losers whining over the election that they failed to predict properly because they're so out of touch with what's going on in real America.
And it's impact journalism.
I'm with you on that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fucking not leaving. I'm not going to fucking Punta del Este or this is not
sounds
happening.
Nice though.
It does sound nice. I have a little bit a bleaker view of the same point, which is
well, let me just say, I feel like there's people in this chat, and I'm reading the chats, and like half of the comments are some version of fuck it, like politics doesn't work, I'm quitting it, like it's hopeless, like I'm done with it. Michael Wiggins just now, I'm done with politics. And like, if you're going to check out, like, come on, now's not the time to check out. Now's the time to check in for me. Like, I really feel that firmly. Like, this is not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. But if you're not willing to actually like do the reporting, do the work, protect people who don't deserve to be targeted by our government from, protect them and help them.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about illegal aliens who are committing crimes, who the sanctuary cities do not give ICE access to them when they're in jail and then release them? Are you talking about these types of people that you want to protect because it's anything that contradicts Donald Trump?
Then you know what? You shouldn't have been in the first place. That's where my head's at.
I want to speak to that. I can understand why that's dispiriting for people. And like, this is actually part of the reason why I'm not taking drugs like I was 8 years ago is because despite
wow, I was right. He's a druggie.
The fact that I did think Kamala was going to win, I knew that there's a legitimate chance of this. We've talked about it a lot, and so
we've talked about it a lot. I would just like to say, like, we the idea that like we were all hopped up on hopium about Kamala is not true. We have been very clear-eyed about the possibility, like the very legitimate possibility that Donald Trump run. JBL's written about 100 triads about the fact that he might. We have been coin flipped the whole time. Yeah. So sorry,
it wasn't a coin flip. Anyway,
I always thought it was a coin flip election. I never imagined that Trump could win a resounding victory.
Woohoo!
The way he
YMCA.
JBL,
this is once more a failure of imagination on
still
my
a news
part.
outlet. He hasn't won the resounding victory tonight. The way it looks like he's going to. I think
he's
got to wait for it.
He's going to win the popular vote. He's going to win a larger.
He might
he's
not.
going to win a larger share of the electoral college than he did in 2016.
Deservedly.
This is again. Yeah. This is something that I absolutely failed to imagine was possible.
Because you have TDS.
No, but
I'm worried about the need. We have to organize an opposition pretty quickly to be pretty effective, and it's going to be very hard to do it in these current. We're going to be in disarray, I guess.
Good.
Maybe we, the Bulwark, can help lessen the disarray or figure out a way out of the disarray quickly. But the natural state of things is not going to be, let's all get back together and work right. Sarah's really right.
Is to not be tired. Our job is to figure that out.
Fuck yeah.
Guys, I think
fuck yeah.
That's a great place to end this night. frankly.
We're going to be back tomorrow. Me and JBL and Sarah will be back here on YouTube. We got to figure out the time. We had a time, but we might move it up when things are in flux. So, we're not going anywhere. Bill's got to write a newsletter for the morning. Sam has to channel this energy into making sure that the rest of the website sounds like he does. And I don't know. You guys probably need to take a sleeping pill. So I don't know. That's all I got, JBL.
Hey, if you guys just suffered through this national tragedy with us, we appreciate it.
Subscribe to the Bulwark.
One thing is
subscribe to this channel, please.
Then, which is still true now, which is that we are all in this together. So we'll go and try to pick up the pieces of that and try to figure out how we're going to save civil society starting tomorrow.
We'll see you
tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Good luck, America.
Good night.
Good luck, America.
That was one of the best election night meltdowns that I've seen. Props especially to Mona for her sadness, those leftist tears, although these are RINO tears, that I got to drink. Perhaps we should put the RINOs out of the endangered species list and do away with them because they're no longer Republicans, they're Democrats. That's what they are. They are on the left doing anything they can to oppose change in America. I'm so glad that Trump won. Again, we have hope. As I mentioned throughout the program, the Democrats have been destroying the nation. And what we're seeing from USAID is that they have been pilfering the coffers and stealing our tax dollars that you work so hard for. And they think that they have a right to them. They want 87,000 new IRS agents, but they don't want an audit of themselves. It's crazy to me. But Trump won, and we can revel in this and enjoy this. Share this with your friends. Please thumb up the video and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let me know if you enjoyed. Peace out.